Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Mayhem live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Goon F. Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio. We are awaiting the arrival of Michael Bullock. If he comes in, then great. If he doesn't, then I guess we will see him on Friday for the Cerebral Smack Talk. All right, guys. So, as always, we will jump it off with NXT 2.0 and then to be followed by tonight's AEW Dynamite. And we will have a lot to talk about, especially with AEW Dynamite. Some big news coming out of AEW that really will definitely have to be addressed. I think that's the key word is that uh, some, let's just say, some humongous news came out today. Uh,
Positively.
yeah, that will definitely need to be addressed. So we'll get into it, and yeah. So with that said, we'll start off with NXT. We started it off with a tag team match. The Dirty Dogs from Monday Night Raw, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode going up against NXT champion Braun Breaker and Tommaso Ciampa. When it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 13 minutes and 5 seconds was Tommaso Ciampa and Braun Breaker. Great opening match. Very good tag team match, solid battle. This is easily 3 to 3.5 stars, and I really thought the right team won the match. I thought it was an excellent battle. Really, nothing more to add here. So, Anthony Florio, I thought the everything about this was perfect. So, 1302, Braun Breaker and Tommaso Ciampa with the victory.
Indeed, positively. All right. If you notice, Robert Roode came out to the Old Glorious theme for a moment, which was pretty cool, but it felt like a rejuvenation of that character. But anyways, he was the key piece in this entertaining tag team match, continually keeping his team in the bout. Honestly, he came out looking better than his partner, the number one contender to the NXT championship. Or is there another one? The result was a surprise only because Dolph Ziggler still needs more momentum. While he has been elevated by working the lower level brand, he needs to look more like a threat. Still, the action was a good sign that Breaker versus Ziggler should be a great NXT championship match no matter the build. But wait. Hold the phones here. They threw us a curveball. They're going to have a special themed NXT 2.0 next Tuesday night. And it's entitled Roadblock. And we got a roadblock to stand and deliver. Main event of next week's show, Braun Breaker versus Dolph Ziggler versus Tommaso Ciampa. Triple threat match for the NXT championship. Whoa, that is a curveball and a roadblock and a half right there. That definitely changes the complexion of the stand and deliver card. And whatever happens in that match will be very significant as to what the NXT title direction will be going into stand and deliver. But for right now, I'm going to give this about 3. I'm going to give this a solid 3.5 stars. It's one of the fights of the night. There's another one that was just as good. Was it better? I don't know. We'll find out. But for right now, this is at worst the second best fight of the night here. 3.5 stars. Great way to start. And MF, I mean, Breaker, Ziggler, Ciampa, triple threat. That's a major roadblock towards stand and deliver.
Yeah, that's a major roadblock, and it's gonna be a hell of a fight. So, yeah, it's gonna be very good to see. But I do believe that Braun should go through and continue the rivalry with Dolph Ziggler. So yeah, no, it's gonna be a great matchup. I think it was just that was a perfect story and everything else that happened, and yeah, so we do indeed move on. Next up, a first round match in the Women's Dusty Classic, as it was Wendy Cho and Dakota Kai, unlikely pair, going up against the veterans, Persia Peralta and Indy Hartwell. You're thinking, you're kidding me. Persia and Indy, easy, right? Nope. Upset. Wendy Cho and Dakota Kai advances to the semifinals, knocking them off in 5 minutes and 21 seconds. Anthony Florio, bracket buster upset. What the hell just happened?
You tell me. I mean, wow.
I think the look on Dakota Kai said the whole story.
I know. And it definitely makes me want to channel my inner Tim Allen from Home Improvement. I mean, nobody saw this coming. I mean, okay. This match got more time than the previous week's Dusty Classic matchups, but it still felt abbreviated. Wendy Chu, not Cho, Chu, and Dakota Kai are an interesting team because of the story NXT 2.0 is telling with them. The fun-loving Chu is pushing past Kai's walls to make her accept a new friend, or at least a partner. They already have tag team combinations together, so even if Dakota Kai and Wendy Chu lose in the semifinals, this team has room to grow in a women's tag team division in need of fresh characters. It was not as surprising as NXT trying to make it seem that Indy Hartwell and Persia Parada lost. The two have been falling apart since Duke Hudson entered the story. And sadly, one of NXT's established teams looks set to break up here. So we could be looking at a possible heel turn for Persia Parada aligning with Duke Hudson. And I could possibly see a mixed tag coming out of this.
Yeah, because if you notice after the match, Persia left with Duke, and who was the first person that Indy tried to hit up? Her husband,
Dexter
Loomis. So without a doubt, definitely a mixed tag is definitely looking like it's in the works.
Maybe Stand and Deliver. I mean, that's a possibility. So
very much so.
So with that being said, I will give this 2.5 stars. To this point, this was the best match of the women's Dusty Classic that I've seen yet. So big win for Chu and Kai. Major bracket buster. This is to the women's Dusty what Idris Anafi and Malik Blade when they pulled off their major upset in the men's Dusty Classic. So
if I remember, didn't they take out Grizzled Young Vets? Wasn't that who they?
Yeah, I believe it was the GYV.
I think it was the Grizzled Young Veterans that fell in that upset, and I remember how we all reacted to that one that night.
Yep, when we talked about it on this program some time ago, but for right now, 2.5 stars. The fight of the women's Dusty Cup so far. Hopefully there'll be better ones down the road. So, wow, major upset indeed. 2.5 stars. MF, what says you?
Yeah, like we said, 2.5 definitely, and really the 2.5 is more because of the upset more than anything else. I mean, the match was fine. It was there. It was very impressive. They did a good job with the story, but honestly, Persia and Indy is more of an established tag team, and you would think Dusty Classic, you want the best established teams to be there at the end. Now, you know, there's always a threat. There's always a chance of a stunning upset to happen that basically takes us by surprise and literally makes us fall onto the ground saying, what the heck just happened? This is that what the heck just happened. Because honestly, none of us had this. I don't think Michael Bullock had it. I know Anthony Florio did not have it. When the bracket initially came out, we all probably pretty much said Persia and Indy's going over. They'll get into the semifinals, and we go from there. Well, hello, upset, and now we're left wondering what the heck. So that's as good as it gets, guys. That's good as it gets when you get an upset like that. So now the next up we had was Lash Legend versus Amari Miller. Lash Legend wins the match in 2 minutes and 57 seconds. Yeah, it was good. I mean, it was fine for what it was worth. Nothing too amazing. So we're just gonna move right on. So now we get fun. Now we have fun. It was Gunther, the ring general of Imperium, going up against Solo Sokola, and it was Gunther winning the match, 7 minutes and 37 seconds, giving Solo his first loss in NXT. You know what? No shame to lose to the ring general like Gunther. This was a be a man fight. 3 stars, fun little sprint, hard hitting action, and the ending was absolutely devastating. I mean, love I love Walter's look. I love his style. I love his brutality. And Solo had a coming out. This was his best performance in NXT, going up against one of the best in NXT. NXT UK, the longest reigning NXT United Kingdom champion in the history of the company. And now you see why he is the ring general, la habitante of Imperial. So it doesn't matter if he's Walter, if he's Gunther. This man is a wrecking machine, and the chops. Ay. Okay, Anthony Florio has this thing where he turns his head every time about the limb manipulation of One Pete Dunne. Every time I hear a slap by freaking Walter, I'm holding my chest, cringing every time I hear those slaps.
Would this be the classic case of, whoa, did you hear that?
Yes. Did you see that?
Did you feel that?
Oh my God. Yeah. No doubt. That would be that moment. That would be that type of thing. And Solo is wearing the welts on those chops because, my God, I mean, I've seen some nasty chops by Gunther in his day. I remember he was fighting Will Ospreay in the United Kingdom and damn near decapitated him with a chop. Like decapitated him.
Huh.
So go on YouTube, you'll see it. Will Ospreay versus Walter, and you'll see the chop, and you're gonna be like, "Oh my God!"
Would you say Walter's chops are worse than Big Show's?
Yes, 1000%. Yes, I will give you that and then some. Yes.
Yeah, all the fun we used to have with the Big Show chops back in the day.
Yeah. His chops are more devastating than the Big Show. And trust me, Big Show's got some chops. But Gunther, oh my freaking God. I think Ilya Dragunov will tell you how devastating he is. Talk to Pete Dunne about how devastating his chops is. Talk to Tyler Bate how devastating his chops are. That's how bad. They're bad. That's all I'm going to say. Florio, it's yours. This was easily 3 to 3.5 stars.
I'll give it 3. It was the third best fight of the night. While Solo Sikoa got in his shots, this was always going to be the ring general's night. He continues to build toward a massive NXT championship opportunity. Sikoa fought hard and proved he is still one of NXT's better performers. Just not quite main event level yet. The match was good, showcasing what these two do so well. Sikoa fought from underneath and hit a few big moves that would have been enough to defeat most. Gunther destroyed his competition while letting him look good. And speaking of Imperium, Tuesday night, Roadblock. Eichner and Barthel will defend the NXT Tag Team Championships against the winners of the Men's Dusty Cup for 2022, Brutus and Julius, the Creed brothers. Add that to the Roadblock card on NXT on Tuesday night. And as well as, since we didn't talk about it, LA Knight and Grayson Waller, last man standing.
Oh,
Get ready Tuesday. That's all I'm saying. When they put together these themed shows, those are the only times like I get it. I actually look forward to NXT 2.0 because they've delivered. They've delivered in spades every time.
yeah.
Halloween Havoc, War Games, New Year's Evil, Vengeance Day. And I think this Roadblock special is going to deliver. You know Stand and Deliver is going to deliver.
Yeah.
So, wow.
It like you said, regular NXT, not so great. Whenever they do these quote unquote takeover special
Themed events.
Premiere events, this is where NXT really thrives.
Yes.
And really does a lot better. So and even when Triple H was running NXT, there were some episodes that weren't so great. They weren't as amazing. But whenever they got to a takeover, oh my God.
Over delivered.
Yeah.
They didn't just deliver, they over delivered. I mean, averaging like 8.5, 9, 9.5. Some we've even given perfect 10s to.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that's why WWE is trying to temper down NXT because remember, there was a lot of times where NXT actually outdid some of the WWE pay-per-views. They overshadowed them.
The majors. They've even there have been times where takeovers ended up being better than WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Better than SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Better than Survivor Series. Even better than the Royal Rumble.
Yep. So I think that's why we're seeing what we're seeing now. So
absolutely. So I agree. I agree 100% with your rating, MF. 3 stars. I think that's the perfect rating. I think 3.5 is a little steep, but three, I 100% agree with. It was definitely the third best fight of the night. Fun little sprint. Few more minutes, and this thing would have been even better. So, but nonetheless, big win for Gunther. Imperium has momentum. Question is, will the champs stay the champs? I mean, they're gonna be in for a tall order. Those Creed brothers, they're not to be messed with. So.
And plus, remember, they got also the equalizer out there. They got Diamond Mine out there. So don't forget that.
Absolutely not.
So Diamond Mine could definitely get involved. We could see new tag champions.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Positively.
So we'll wait and see. So next up we had was Harlan versus Draco Anthony. Harlan wins the match in 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Nothing more to say about that one. Then we had the Dusty Classic, the other and final first round matchup. The interesting tag team. This was one of the teams that I kind of feel like is probably one of the favorites to win it all, guys. Raquel Gonzalez and Cora Jade. They went up against Yusla Leon and Valentina Fraza. When it was all said and done, yes, it was Raquel Gonzalez and Cora Jade. They advanced a little under 5 minutes. It was 4:47 on the clock. Anthony Florio. They now get to face Dakota Kai and Wendy Cho. So they advanced to the semifinals, and the other semifinal, I mean,
MF special.
Yeah, an MF special, like you said.
Three out of it's because of 2 of them in particular. Casey Cantanzaro, your one of those quote unquote girl of your dreams type, because we all know how much you love that baby girl. I mean, she won your heart on American Ninja Warrior. That's it, and that speaks for itself. And then the other, of course, someone that I know you have a lot of respect for, not just for her beauty, but also but you respect her more for her outstanding wrestling ability. You know her way better than I do, her resume, and that's Kaylee Ray, the scary Queen of Scots.
Yes, absolutely.
Io Shirai, Kaylee Ray versus Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter. So that's that other semifinal. But here it's first of all it's Yulissa Leon and Valentina Faraz, a couple of beautiful Latinas there, going up against Big Mommy Cool Raquel Gonzalez and the upstart Cora Jade. Jade and Gonzalez win, no surprise here. I probably would give this about another 2.5. I mean, it was a solid sprint, even if Leon and Faraz proved that they deserved more time than they got. It was clear that the two were ready to maximize their minutes as the overlooked team. The pair of outside dives got the crowd hype more than most aspects of the rest of this show. Raquel Gonzalez and Cora Jade are good individual wrestlers, but still have work to do to find their tag team chemistry. It went about as expected, showing that Big Mommy Cool is still one of the most dominant women on the NXT 2.0 roster. Solid 2.5. They will now face Wendy Chu and Dakota Kai. Oh, Raquel gets Dakota. Raquel and Dakota again.
Yeah, the reuniting of one of the most vicious rivalries in NXT.
No love lost there whatsoever.
Oh no.
So I'm sure they're going to build that match around those two. So that's got potential to be all right, but of course the match we're all looking forward to, especially MF, that MF special. Io Shirai, Kaylee Ray, Casey Catanzaro, Caden Carter. That could end up being the show stealer match of the tournament right there. If they give them the time and they let them run loose, those four beauties can definitely put on a hell of a show.
Even though I think storyline-wise, they're probably going to give it to Kaylee and Io, and maybe we could see in the final it being Kaylee and Io versus Raquel and Cora. Because remember, these four women all have legitimate beef against Toxic Attraction.
Absolutely.
And that's, I think, the best way to handle it. Who is the team that's going to give Toxic Attraction a run for their money and the NXT Women Tag Team titles? Even though
either of them can.
Either of them can. Even though I would rather see Casey and Caden win it all and get the shot at the belts, because damn it to heck, they deserve it. But I know that's not going to happen. But I'm just saying, if you want the best tag team to win it, it's Casey and Caden. They're the most experienced. They have worked together longer than any of the remaining teams. And to me, they deserve a shot at the tag team titles. I don't even think they've ever gotten a shot at the tag gold yet.
Not that I recall.
Not that I recall either. So something's got to give.
Something does have to give. You're absolutely right. So 2.5 stars for this. I would say the other match was slightly better, but this one was this one was just as good. So 2.5 for this. So I started it. So my map is yours.
Yeah, and I'll give it 2.5. I agree. So we'll give it off. Main event. This was the big one, guys. This was the North American Championship on the line, as it was. Oh well. There's Von Wagner versus Andre Chase. Wagner wins in 4-10. I'm not taking anything from that. Let's go into the main event. Carmelo Hayes, Pete Dunne, NXT North American title on the line. Carmelo Hayes wins the match, 12-31. Fight of the night, 3.5 stars. I knew it. I knew this fight was going to be lit. It was the lip manipulation, the cringing on Anthony Florio, but Carmelo is the star of stars of NXT. He's now that kind of guy right now, and he just made a big announcement that at Stand and Deliver WrestleMania weekend at the American Airlines Arena in Dallas, he's putting the North American title on the line in a ladder match. Oh, dude. Let's go. That's all I'm going to say. Anthony, 3.5 to 3 3/4 fight of the night. It's yours.
3 3/4 to 4 is my rating for this. 100% agree. This was the fight of the night. Once again, as the A champion says, Melo doesn't miss. He delivered in a physical back and forth clash with the Bruiserweight. The only disappointment was that the two did not get more time. Melo is the best champion in NXT and has been booked better than most of WWE's main roster title holders. It has helped that he continually defends against top opponents, and even though he's a heel, he is unafraid of any challengers. It is odd that he would agree to a multi-man ladder match with his title on the line, but that just shows how cocky he is getting. Someone is going to make him pay for that before long, and it could be at Stand and Deliver. But for me, this was 3 3/4 to 4 stars. Yes, I did cringe during any Pete Dunne joint manipulation because you know how I am about that. So, and we saw that on display. He did it to Trick Williams near the tail end of that bout. So yeah. And he said it. It was, I think it was TakeOver New Orleans, I believe. That was the inaugural North American Championship match that Adam Cole went on to win. So it made Mauro Ranallo lose his mind on commentary. So watch those reaction videos on YouTube and you'll know what I'm talking about. But anyways, 3 3/4 to 4. There's not much more for me to say. Overall review, I'll be starting it off here. And, I'm going to be a little more generous on this one. I'm going to give this about 6 out of 10 here. I mean, we had 3 quality matches. You have, of course, it was the standard usual, the standard formula for a regulation NXT 2.0 show. The first match, great. Main event, great. In between, meh. But we did get one good thing out of it, and that was the Gunther and Solo Sikoa match, which ended up being the third best fight and the sleeper fight of the night. Solid 3 there. And the 2 big main events both delivered. No big surprise. And even those women's Dusty matches were, I think, were better than the previous week. So I'll be generous and I'll give this about a 6 out of 10. 3 quality matches as well as 2 solid women's Dusty matches, and we continue on the road to Stand and Deliver. But we got Roadblock on Tuesday night, the triple main event. LA Knight, Grayson Waller, last man standing. Imperium, Fabian Eichner, and Marcel Bartal will defend their tag team titles against Brutus and Julius, the Creed brothers. And then, of course, the main event, the triple threat match for the NXT Championship. Braun Breaker, Dolph Ziggler, Tommaso Ciampa. Wow. So there isn't much more to say. Hey, Michael Bullock is here. So MF, let's get Mr. NXT caught up on his show. Bullock, I think you might like the rating here. It's not the best, but it's definitely not the worst. 6 out of 10, solid show. So, MF, let's catch Mr. NXT up.
All right, Mike, we're gonna go rapid fire here on it. We're gonna start off with Braun Breaker versus Braun Breaker and Tommaso Ciampa versus the Dirty Dogs. Breaker and Tommaso won it in 13:05.
Yeah, 3.5 stars is definitely my rating for it. So moving right along.
All right, then the next up that we had was Wendy Chu and Dakota Kai going up against Indy Hartwell and Persia Peralta. We had an upset. Wendy and Dakota advances 5 minutes and 21 seconds.
Yeah, 2 stars is my rating. I mean, this was a surprise. I mean, I thought Indy and Persia would be the ones moving on, but yeah, Wendy Chu and Dakota Kai, that was a bit surprising, Fletch.
All right. We didn't really talk about this one, so we're going to bypass it. It was Lash Legend versus Amari Miller. Lash the Legend wins the match in 2 minutes and 57 seconds. Me and Anthony decided not to do it. Solo Sikoa versus Gunther. Gunther wins the match in 7 minutes and 37 seconds.
2.5 to 3 is my rating for this. I mean, it was a good solid match. I mean, but yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more to add to it.
All right, then we had Harlan versus Draco Anthony. Harlan won the match, but we did not give a rating on that one. Then we had the Dusty Classic. Raquel Gonzalez and Cora Jade advancing to the semifinals in 4 minutes and 47 seconds. So give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I'll give it maybe 1 to 1.5 for it. So, yeah, let's just move on.
Von Wagner versus Andre Chase. Wagner wins in 4:10. Anthony and I did not talk about that one. Main event we did talk about Carmelo Hayes and Pete Dunne. North American title on the line. Carmelo Hayes wins the match in 12 minutes and 31 seconds.
Another 3.5 star match. I mean, this was another solid match. I mean, but yeah, to me, this was the right decision to have Carmelo Hayes still as the champion.
All right, and Mike.
Yeah, and as far as my rating for the overall show, I'm with you. It's a 6 out of 10 for me. So move on, Fletch.
All right, I'm the last one to give it, and I'm the last one to give you my my official rating, and I do agree. I think it's a 6.5. I'm actually going to give it 6 to 6.5. I thought it was a very good show. With that said, now we turn to AEW Dynamite. And we started it off with Tony Khan dropping the major announcement that he thanked the crowd. First off, that they start the show with Tony Khan in the ring with Tony Schiavone. First, he thanked he basically thanked the people for keeping the company going in the pandemic, and then he dropped the major announcement. AEW Tony Khan has now become the new owner of Ring of Honor. That's right. The 17-year company, Ring of Honor, now got bought out by the Sinclair company. And now the Sinclair company group has sold the rights of Ring of Honor to All Elite Wrestling, but namely Tony Khan now owns Ring of Honor. It's a full circle moment for Ring of Honor because of the fact that just about 4 or 5 years ago, Ring of Honor actually was working with the Elite. They were working with the Kenny Omega, the Cody Rhodes, and the Young Bucks. There was a vision that these 4 guys had about doing a wrestling company, doing a wrestling show that would have rivaled WWE. And that event was called All In. And that was the night that they had All In, and they did this big event in Chicago at the Sears Theater, not knowing what was going to happen with the company itself. That was the night that Ring of Honor flipped the bill. They were the ones that put the production together. They were the ones that bought, they did everything for the Elite. So, in hindsight, this is a logical move that Tony Khan does. You scratch my back, we'll scratch your back. But not only that, but it opens the door for what undoubtedly is going to be very interesting to see down the line. Because we already know that Ring of Honor has done a lot. in their history. And remember, Ring of Honor had a lot of help in their final show. The final battle that was back in December. They had help from Impact Wrestling. They had help from NWA. They had help from AEW. And on top of that, there was even talk of some guy from New Japan that was going to try to help them out as well. So, for Ring of Honor to go to AEW and to go to Tony Khan is a massive, massive, massive deal. Because look at the talent they now have that they could bring into AEW and vice versa. AEW talent will now be showing up at Ring of Honor very soon. As soon as possibly Super Card of Honor WrestleMania weekend. So, Ring of Honor is going to be just fine. They are going to be in a very good place now. And now, any guy who feels like, oh, I might not be able to make it in AEW, you got Ring of Honor now that you could lean on, that could help you, that could hone your skills. And plus, on top of that, think about this. Impact Wrestling is right now currently working with Ring of Honor. That Honor No More crew, all those guys that's on Honor No More are all exclusively to Ring of Honor. So, what does that mean? Could that mean maybe a working partnership where Impact could continue to work with Ring of Honor? Maybe they jump back and work with AEW again? And then let's talk about the other elephant in the room with possibly New Japan and what they could bring to the table. Or AAA and what they were bringing to the table. Is it possible that we could have all these entities come together and make one mega power force? It's possible. Anything is possible now. Ring of Honor got a lifeline here tonight. Their company will not die. As a matter of fact, their company has exponentially gotten bigger by this announcement here today. To know that Tony Khan is now the new owner of Ring of Honor. Honor lives, and it will not go down. They will definitely be back, and they will be stronger than ever because now they got some influence. Now, what's the future going to be for some of the talent? We do not know. For all your favorite stars in Ring of Honor, we do not know what the future may hold. All we know is that Tony Khan now holds all the cards. We know that library that WWE was trying to get, that library now goes to AEW's archives. And what happens there? Now, there's talk about maybe that AEW might be able to parlay this, get their own content, and maybe put it on HBO Max. Now, look out if HBO Max gets involved. So, we'll have to wait and see how this happens. All I know is that the landscape of professional wrestling has been altered yet again. But today, Tony Khan buying the rights to Ring of Honor, a company that's been thriving for 17 years with some of the greatest names. Tyler Black, who's, oh, by the way, that's Seth Rollins. The company that made the American Dragon Bryan Danielson. The company that made CM Punk. The company that made Samoa Joe. The company that made Cesar Bononi, a.k.a. Cesaro, the company that made Jay Lethal to what he is today, and the company that made the reigning, defending Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion in Jonathan Gresham. These are the men, the pillars of Ring of Honor. And when I said honor lives, that's not a saying. That is the way of life of this company. That code of honor that is sworn by every competitor inside that ring is the same values, virtues, and everything that they brought every single night in that very ring. And these are the same core values that made me a fan of Ring of Honor and made me want to stay up till 2 in the morning every Saturday night to watch that show on WJAR Channel 10 in Providence, because that is what passion of wrestling means to me. Anthony Florio, that's a little bit of that professor knowledge. It's yours, my friend. Tony Khan has bought Ring of Honor.
Yes, he has. And I'm not surprised. I mean, that gentleman that we cut ties with recently did a video about this, and that's what he thought was going to be the announcement. And yeah, he was right. But anywho, Tony Khan announcing ownership of Ring of Honor is a major occurrence in professional wrestling and lives up to the lofty expectations put in place by his hyping the announcement. Kicking off the show with Bryan Danielson and Christopher Daniels in a throwback to the heyday of Ring of Honor was a nice touch and bled nicely into the hype for Danielson's upcoming match with Jon Moxley. There were no new developments in that feud between the former world champions, but there did not have to be. Their match is going to be a hell of a battle and should give fans a genuine match of the year candidate early here in 2022. And little known fact, Bryan Danielson and Christopher Daniels were a part of the first main event in Ring of Honor history. Is that correct, MF?
That is correct. 17 years ago.
Well, I thought Ring of Honor started 20 years ago. I think Tony Khan might have gotten a little ahead of that. But yes, big moment here. And you notice that little shot he took at WWE saying, "No Shane here, no Shane here." Yep, we all know what that was. The Vince and Shane angle with WCW, which led to the Invasion angle in 2001. We all remember that. Some liked it, some didn't. I was one of the few who actually loved it, but that's just me. But I'm probably the only one who did. But anyways, yeah, what a moment. I mean, all those names that MF mentioned. I mean, yes, we've been seeing a lot of ROH talent on Impact Wrestling as of late. Their play-by-play announcer, Ian Riccaboni, he's on. He's made some appearances on Impact Wrestling. Of course, Honor No More, who's now a part of Impact Wrestling. Mike Bennett, Matt Taven, Vincent, PCO, Kenny King, and their newest member, Eddie Edwards. And of course, we can't forget about the beautiful Maria. I can't forget about her either. But yeah, and Gresham, the reigning Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion. I mean, now that Khan has it, I mean, will we be seeing, how long will it be before we start seeing possible ROH names showing up on Dynamite and or Rampage every week, starting next week, once we get past once we get Revolution done, or maybe even at Revolution? You never know, because you know they love to drop nukes on us. All Out last September, anyone? So, but anyways, without question, Well, you can make an argument that it was the segment of the night, although there was another one that was right there with it. But wow, I can't. I'm not even going to try to follow what MF said. MF nailed everything. I mean, he is the ROH guru. He knows way more about that than Bullock and I combined do. So that's all there is to say on that. So Michael Bullock, the immortal words of the late great Regis Philbin. How do you follow that? Tony Khan has bought Ring of Honor.
Yeah, all I can say is the landscape of WWE. I mean the landscape of professional wrestling has changed with this big announcement. I mean, Tony Khan owning the rights to Ring of Honor. I mean, you thought Ring of Honor was already good even before Tony Khan. Oh my goodness, I think it's going to get even a lot better. So, yeah, I mean, just think. Tony Khan now owns AEW and Ring of Honor. My goodness. I can only envision what that is going to be like. And I cannot wait to see it all unfold right before our eyes. So, a huge announcement here. So, there's really nothing more to add to it. So, Fletch, let's move on.
You kind of jumped the gun here, Florio, about the Bryan Danielson versus Christopher Daniels, but all right, I'll throw you the bone on this one. 11 minutes and 12 seconds. It was Bryan Danielson winning the match. I guess you kind of did hint about the match, or maybe I'll give you a little more because you didn't really give us a match rating, I guess. So, but you did kind of.
Well, that was a part of the the thought about the last one.
Yeah, but I'll give you the I'll throw you the bone here. So go ahead, give me your thoughts on the match.
Yes, the Tony special here. I mean, like I said, now MF. Who did Danielson and Daniels main event that first Ring of Honor show with? You probably don't know.
I'm gonna have to go back into my archives to find it. So yeah, I'm probably gonna have to do some homework and find it, but I'll find it.
Yeah. So, but anyways, yeah, Tony. This was definitely a special moment here, no doubt about that. And I mean, what an incredible match here. It was with Low Key. It was Low Key. Ah, okay. I just found it here. The first main event in Ring of Honor history was Bryan Danielson versus Christopher Daniels versus Low, aka Senshi, for all of you TNA Impact Wrestling buffs out there. So, yeah, I was wondering that myself. I thought MF might have known, but since he didn't really know, I looked into it, and there you go. So, and yes, Daniels and Low Key, a lot of history going back to the TNA days. Story for another day. But anyways, I got to give this 3.5 stars. I mean, one of the fights of the night for sure. Not the fight of the night, but one of the fights of the night. I mean, these are two of my favorite guys. I mean, you guys already know my history of Bryan Danielson, especially in WWE as the yes man, Daniel Bryan. Especially the whole WrestleMania 30 thing years ago, which I still contend is the greatest ending to a WrestleMania ever. Just saying. But on top of that, you had another guy who I like a lot, Christopher Daniels. Nice to see him back. He's been gone forever. And did you see that left eye of his? That left eye was damn near swollen shut. Man, and he still put forth that effort. Unbelievable. The Fallen Angel, of course, was a part of that very first ROH show. He was an ROH mainstay. Of course, another Impact Wrestling mainstay, especially in the X division. Those legendary battles he had with AJ Styles. I mean, you gotta go out of your way to see those because those were fun as hell. Of course, those two and Joe in what is still to this day the greatest match in TNA Impact history the legendary Unbreakable Three-Way. MF and I could tell you stories about that for days, but we don't have that kind of time. But anyways, 3.5 stars, great match. And hey, they even did the Code of Honor before the match. The Code of Honor for Ring of Honor, the handshake. But Danielson attacked him, and then Moxley came in, and like I said, that match has match of the year potential because of their bodies of work. They could end up stealing the damn show on a card where all the matches have potential to be show stealers. So we'll get into that on Friday. But for right now, 3.5 stars. And Michael Bullock, I mean, you know how much you and I love technical wrestling, and this was definitely another technical wrestling masterclass between two great workers, Bryan Danielson and Christopher Daniels, throwing back to just over 20 years ago when the two of them in Low Key main evented the very first ROH.
Man, oh man! I mean, this was a good match here. I mean, and man, Christopher Daniels, he still got it, and to go in there against someone that he's known, especially in Ring of Honor, in Bryan Danielson. I mean, this was definitely a very well worth the match here. 3.5 stars. I mean, one of the fights of the night for sure. So, yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
Next up we had was the Battle Royale, the Tag Team Battle Royale. We already know Red Dragon's going through. There was one other team that needed to go through. That second team, the Young Bucks. They win it all in 26 minutes and 49 seconds. Michael Bullock, we have our 3 teams for the triple threat for the tag team titles. The Young Bucks, Red Dragon, and Jurassic Express. The titles on the line on, I believe it's Saturday. This upcoming Saturday or Sunday night. I know it's this weekend, but
Revolution Sunday.
Sunday. All right.
It's Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah. So Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this was a good battle royale. I mean, it's hard for me to rate these battle royals sometimes just because of how it can be. So I'm gonna do my best here. I'll give this maybe about another 3.5 stars. But now this is gonna get very interesting with this triple threat. I mean, yeah, Luchasaurus is in there, but you also got Red Dragon and the Young Bucks. And we all know what's been going on lately with the Red Dragon and the Young Bucks, especially with Mr. Adam Cole in the middle of all this. So I got this funny feeling that I think that something's going to happen here, and that's what's going to cost both of those teams a chance at the AEW World Tag Team titles. Because I think Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus are going to come out still the champs. And then I think this is where the Young Bucks will turn babyface. So how it's going to be done, we'll wait and find out. So 3.5 stars. Fletch, it's going to be a good triple threat, but I got this feeling that there's going to be an implosion with Red Dragon and the Young Bucks, and with the Young Bucks turning face. What says you?
We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But one thing is definitely for sure, it's going to be a very interesting event. No doubt about it in my mind. When it comes to this, yeah, I'm in total agreement. I thought this was a very very good battle royale. I'll give this about 3.5 to 4 is my saying for it. And at the end of the day, the right team got over. The right team won. In my humble opinion, the Bucks deserves the shot. The Bucks deserves the opportunity, and now they get that chance at making history. The title will be on the line. It's going to be one hell of a match now. Triple threat. So, yeah, it's going to be exciting to say the very least. And I really got nothing more to add. So, Anthony Florio, it is all yours. Yeah, this was at least 4 stars. This was a really good battle royale.
I could go as far as to call this the fight of the night if I wanted to. I mean, this battle royal was most definitely better than last week's, although that was a good one too. And Michael Bullock, you're absolutely right. Battle royals are very hard to rate, very tough to rate. But in this case, not for me. 4 to 4.25 stars for this. I mean, okay, yes, there were entirely too many bodies in the ring at one time throughout a good portion of this bout. But as things drew to a close, the exchanges elevated the quality of the bout. Top Flight instantly looked like a tag team contender thanks to a red-hot crowd at Daly's Place and a great performance from the returning Darius Martin. That the fans were that into the young team is a testament to everything AEW accomplished with Dante Martin in his brother's absence. The match coming down to Darius and the Young Bucks was a nice touch in that it suggested the upset may be possible, especially with renewed interest in Top Flight. But Nick and Matt Jackson pulled off the win to deliver the triple threat match we all expected. Much like the bulk of the announced Revolution card, do not be surprised to see this 3-way tag team title match steal this dang show Sunday night and propel the ongoing storyline between the Young Bucks, Team Red Dragon, and Adam Cole moving forward. So 4 to 4.25 stars. I could call this the fight of the night, and I can honestly say it's one of the best battle royals I've seen in quite some time. I can't remember the last time I was this excited about a battle royale. So very, very well done, to say the very least. And I especially love the closing minutes. That did it for me. So with that, we'll get more into that on Friday night. As we now know, it'll be the Jurassic Express, the reigning champions, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, and they're going to be in for the fight of their lives. Team Red Dragon is one thing. Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, former NXT Tag Team Champions as part of the Undisputed Era with Adam Cole. But, I mean, having to face them is bad enough. But now you got to go into, and now you're going to add the tag team that a lot of purists, especially in the IWC, I know there's a lot of people who disagree with it, but there are those who feel that Nick and Matt Jackson, the Young Bucks, damn near one of the best, if not the best tag team in all of professional wrestling. Good luck, Jurassic Express. I mean, that would be like me and either MF or Michael Bullock as tag team champions going up against maybe Demolition and the Legion of Doom in their prime. That is scary. So you never know. I mean, it's very. I'm glad we got I'm glad we got about another 48 hours or so to think about this, because I definitely need to think about how I'm gonna call this, because this is very tough. So my gut says new champions, but my heart still thinks that Jurassic Express finds a way. If Jurassic Express finds a way to beat these two teams on Sunday night, they damn sure deserve to be tag team champions. Oh, they already deserve to be the champions, but they would damn sure deserve it if they pull this off. So 4 to 4.25 stars. MF, like I said, Jurassic Express against Red Dragon and the Young Bucks. Good luck, young men. You're going to need it.
If they pull this off, it is going to be the greatest Houdini moment in AEW history, because now the chances are is that they're probably not walking out with the belts. But if they successfully defend, oh my goodness, the balance of power would change forever as we know it. So, all right. So next up we had was a few promo segments, but we're going to get into the action. Thunder Rosa and Mercedes Martinez going up against Dr. Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter, as Thunder Rosa and Mercedes Martinez wins the match in 8 minutes and 31 seconds. this was a solid match. This was an all right fight. Look, it gives Thunder Rosa a lot of momentum going into her title match against Dr. Britt, against the Doctor on Sunday. And I think it's about maybe 2 to 2.5 stars. Anthony, says you.
Yeah. Good, hard fought tag team bout between two teams of highly skilled women's wrestlers. It was also a nice way to demonstrate just how much Dr. Britt Baker's women's title reign is in jeopardy Sunday night. Thunder Rosa is the one woman that has repeatedly proven she can beat the dentist, doing so in without a doubt to this day the greatest women's match. It's the greatest women's match and also one of the best matches overall in AEW history last St. Patrick's Day, that infamous Lights Out match. Ironically, in Daly's place. With that said, this feels like Baker's redemption story, and Rosa winning here only enhances that feeling. Baker exercising the demon that is Rosa while retaining her title is a great way to evolve her character in a way that has not been in months. That the match is likely to be fantastic only helps matters. I don't know if it's going to be anywhere near the 5-star classic they had almost a year ago, but we'll have to wait and find out. But I'll give this about 2 3/4 to 3 stars for this. So there isn't much more to say here. Michael Bullock, this was one of quite a few instances, I thought, where booking 101 is going to come into play. First, it was the MJF and CM Punk stuff, and then this, and then there's one other after. But booking 101 could come into play here. Rosa wins tonight. Could that mean the Good Doctor retains Sunday night?
Yeah, that could happen, but as we've seen sometimes, Florio, booking 101 doesn't usually go that route. I mean, it does most of the time, but sometimes it doesn't. But we'll definitely have to wait and find out come Sunday night. But yeah, 2.5 to 3 is my rating for this. I mean, I thought it was a good match here. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's hard to believe, guys. I mean, it wasn't that long ago Thunder Rosa and Mercedes Martinez were beating the you know what out of each other. Now they're partners against Dr. Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. So yeah, I mean, this was a good team win here. So it definitely gives Thunder Rosa some momentum. Could it result in a new champion? We'll find out Sunday night. So Fletch, it's yours.
All right, and with that said, then we will indeed move on to what is undoubtedly. Let me see. Is it the main event? Hang on. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah, it leads us to the main event of the evening. Well, actually, there was Warlow versus Cesar Bononi. Warlow wins the match in 57 seconds. We're not getting into that. Main event, 6-man tag team fight, as it was Red Dragon and Adam Cole versus members of the Dark Order, John Silver, Alex Reynolds, and the AEW World Champion, Adam Hangman Page. When it was all said and done, it was Red Dragon and Adam Cole winning the match in 12 minutes and 32 seconds. Anthony Florio, I believe it goes to you.
What was that time again?
12:32.
12:32. All right. I would probably give this third best fight of the night honors. I'll give this in excess of 3 1/4 to 3.5. Like many of the night's matches, this improved late. Adam Cole avoided a physical altercation with Adam Page as long as he could, eventually throwing fists. Like any great heel, though, his victory ultimately came at the expense not of the champion, but of one of his friends. The post-match beatdown in which the heels toyed with Page's psyche by attacking two of the only friends he still has left in this industry was a nice touch as well. The fact that Cole was the last man standing suggests Hangman will retain Sunday night, but do not be surprised to see Tony Khan pull the trigger on Adam Cole and put to rest any further insistence by fans that he has been mismanaged or underutilized in AEW. So this was 3 1/4, 3.5 from me. Michael Bullock, here you go. I feel this is another possible booking 101 scenario. Hey, Adam Cole went over tonight. Could the Hangman successfully defend? I mean, I think it's still a little too soon to take the title off of him. But then again, maybe they do pull the trigger and put the title on Adam Cole, baby.
Yeah, I think it's too soon to take the title off of the Hangman. I mean, he's had a good run with that title, so why stop now? But we've seen this before. I mean, they actually would pull. Sometimes they pull the rug out from underneath us, and who knows? We could get a new champion, but we'll see. About another 3.5 stars is my rating for this. I mean, this was a good, solid main event to close this show. So, Fletch, it is yours.
Yeah, I agree with that. About 3.25 stars. I kind of didn't really like the post fight beatdown. I think that kind of undermined what happened here. But I will say that it was a very good close to the show. At the end of the night, honestly, I think the right team won, so it gives some momentum going into it. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. All I know is that it's going to be a very interesting, I guess you could say, a very interesting story as now we lead us into what undoubtedly is going to be one of the best nights coming up for AEW when we're talking about, this is going to be a huge event, guys. So AEW Revolution going down from Orlando, Florida at the Addition Financial Arena. It's going to be a historic night, no doubt about it. Anthony Michael Bullock, you lead off on the overall review for AEW.
I thought this was a very good AEW Dynamite. I mean, all the matches I thought were good, but the one that everybody's going to be talking about is the announcement from Tony Khan that he has bought Ring of Honor. That's the one that's really stood out to me tonight. So, that being said, I'll give this about maybe 7.5 to 8 out of 10 for this edition of Dynamite. I mean, yeah, there were some things that I could have done without, but all in all, everybody, like I said, everybody is going to be talking about that announcement from Tony Khan. So, nothing more to say. Fletch, it is yours.
I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 8 as well, no doubt about it. Excellent show, well done. The big thing that came out of this tonight is like Michael Bullock said, the announcement of AEW being acquired, and that's gonna be the biggest talking point more than anything else. So amazing show. Nothing more to say. Anthony, final say.
I'm actually going to go a little higher here. I'm actually going to give this between 8 and 8.5. I mean, this was a very, very good show here tonight. I mean, you only had one truly bad match, which was the Wardlow squash, the delicious squash, rather. But other than that, I mean, all the other matches were solid to good to great. We ended up getting a game-changing announcement from Tony Khan. Punk and MJF killed it in another segment. I mean, especially after what we saw tonight, it definitely raised my level of excitement for that dog collar match on Sunday night. And from the moment that Punk returned to wrestling, fans have noticed a nicer, more agreeable Punk than before. The Punk from a decade ago never would have allowed himself to be suckered into the trap MJF laid for him. But this one, trying to be a better person than he was in his previous professional life, took his enemy at his word. And it was a nice display of character evolution from Punk, but one he paid dearly for. Expect to see a nastier, angrier, more violent Punk than we have seen thus far in AEW Sunday night when he battles MJF in a few defining main event caliber match. So yeah. Other than that, all the other matches were solid to good to great. The Battle Royal, that came out of nowhere. I thought it was going to be another so-so battle royale, but with this being a casino battle royale, it ended up being better than I thought, and it got a lot of time too. I mean, that's one of the longest battle royals I've seen in quite some time. So almost 30 minutes. So yeah, that definitely made the show fly by. So easy watch as always. That stole the show for me. Danielson and Daniels, what a match that was. Throwback to their ROH days when they main evented the first ROH show with Low Key. And of course, the main event was great as well. The women's tag was solid. And then the Punk MJF segment, like I said, and then of course the bomb from Tony Khan. So yeah, WWE, take note. That is how you do a go home show, right there. So hopefully, the final Raw and the final SmackDown before WrestleMania will be just as good as that. That's what we saw here tonight for this go home Dynamite for Revolution. Although we do have one more little pit stop, and that'll be Friday night for Rampage, headlined by Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin versus Andrade El Idolo, triple threat match for the TNT Championship. Whoa, Nelly. That's all there is to say on that. So 8.5, not much more to say. MF, take it home and hit him with that future content. And unfortunately, some bad news when it comes to tomorrow night.
Yeah, unfortunately, guys, we're taking it off. So it's only going to be for 1 week, folks. Don't worry, we'll be back next week. The next time that you're going to see Strictly Sports, we're getting into conference championship week. So we're going to preview all the big conferences, all the conferences that you guys know and love: SEC, Big 10, Big 12, Pac-12.
And the double main event. And the double main event, of course, are two conferences. My Big East and your ACC.
The Atlantic 10, ACC, Big East. So we're going to get into that and everything else. And we might even look at some of the other matches. So if there's a major upset, if there's one that a bracket got busted, we're going to keep a close eye. If there was an upset, we'll talk about it. Meaning, if Gonzaga loses some way somehow in their tournament, conference tournament,
maybe even some bonus commentary if you're good.
If there's a game out there that's good enough for it, yeah, we'll throw it, no doubt. So we'll see. We'll know we'll be knee deep into the tournament, into some of the tournament action. So we'll be watching the games on Fox, games on ESPNs. Yeah, we'll have some commentary if needed. So we'll see. That goes down next week. So unfortunately, no Strictly Sports this week. We will be back on Friday for Cerebral Smack Talk, SmackDown Live, Rampage, and a preview of Revolution. And then after that, then it's back on Raw on Monday. It'll be back to the usual ridiculously Raw on Monday. Wednesday night, 1 week from tonight, we will start with the Revolution recap. Then we will go with NXT. Of course, they have their roadblock event. That should be a pretty big event. And then the Fallout, the AEW Dynamite, the Fallout from Revolution. And it'll be upward and onward for them as well. So nothing more to say. Guys, have a great night. We'll see you on Friday. For Anthony Florio, for Michael Bullock, I'm Michael Fletcher. Have a good night, everybody. So long for now, and we'll see you all on Friday.